Dear friends, welcome to today's video. So in today's video, we will be talking about intelligent agents. So up till now, we have been discussing about how we can make a system artificially intelligent. And for that, one of the primary categories to decide upon the intelligence was the Turing test. And also, we had different cognitive approaches, logic, laws of thought approaches, and also we had the rationality or rationalist approach towards any computer system, right? Now what is this rationalist approach? So if we are talking about the rationalist approach, that means we will be essentially talking about certain agents which are also known as rational agents to do the correct thing at the correct time. Okay, since rational agents are very central to the approach of artificial intelligence, we definitely need to know about this intelligent agents or the rational agents, which are the core building blocks of any artificially intelligent system. Like the definition, it says a system can be called artificially intelligent if or incorporated with artificial intelligence if it can think like a human, it can act like a human, it can think rationally as well as it can act rationally. So let us get started. So talking about, first of all, we will be talking about the agents and the environment. So since one of the primary approach is rationality, and we need an agent who will be performing and thinking these rational thoughts and rational behavior, we all we can categorize this agent, or we have to know about the different properties of this agent and how it actually impacts. Okay, so basically if we talk about agent, we have already defined agent. An agent is anything which does some work, okay, which does an activity or a work, right? Activity or a work. Now how will that particular agent do this activity or the work? How do we actually do any activity or work? First of all, we have to perceive the environment through the different sensory organs which are there in our body, and then we have to act upon the environment with the help of the uh, different types of facilities which are or infrastructure which are provided in our body. Okay, like our hands, our legs, okay, or our mouth, for example. Now that means an agent will also be doing any activity or work, but based on certain inputs which it is getting from the environment, and will be doing that work based on certain facilities which are incorporated in it. Okay, so in formal terms we can say that an agent is anything which can be viewed as perceiving its environment through sensors and acting upon that environment through actuators. Now we have a lot of terms here, okay, so let me write them one by one. So we can consider an agent, and that particular agent is perceiving the environment. Okay, perceiving the environment. Perceiving means knowing about the environment, okay, or feeling the environment. How does it feel the environment? Through sensors, and will be in response acting on the environment through actuators. Now sensors are as good as the sensory organs which are there in the human body, and actuators are as good as the different limbs or different facilities which are incorporated in our body, okay, like hands, legs, mouth, and other body parts. Okay, so talking about the robotic agents or an agent in the AI field, let me consider a robot, okay, for this particular agent. So if I'm considering a robot might have different sensors like camera, or infrared sensor, okay, um, or infrared range finders, and different types of motors for the actuators. Now these motors are attached so that it can move its wheel, okay, or it can move its hand. So all these motors are the actuators. So I think this is pretty clear. That means an agent will be first of all perceiving the environment through different types of sensors, and then will be acting on the environment through the different types of actuators, okay. So this we were talking about a hardware agent. Now what if I have a software agent, okay. Now a software agent, what it will do, it will be receiving different keystrokes, okay. Suppose I have a software program, so how will it perceive the environment? Through the different keystrokes or file contents or network packets, okay. So some of this, we do not have sensors here, we have different other parameters which are associated, which will help to perceive the environment, okay. And then maybe it will be displaying whatever it has perceived, okay, or it might be printing something. So all these things are basically the behavior oriented or the actuator oriented services or actuator oriented actions. So we have hardware agents as well as software agents, okay. And basically we will make the general assumption that every agent can perceive its own actions, okay. It will be perceiving its own actions. That means it will be receiving inputs at any given instant. Talking about the perception, we are using this term percept all the time, okay, and we will be using this term percept in future as well. So what do we mean by this percept, okay. So this is basically the agent's perceptual inputs at any instant of time, inputs at any instant of time. So any instant of time means it is completely dependent, it's a temporal variable, and it will be depending on what was the time that input has been received, okay, at any instant of instant of time. So this is the term percept, okay. And now the agent will not only be interested in the percept, but it will be interested in a series of percept, okay, series of perception. That means whenever we feel something, okay. So let's say we are feeling hot, okay, I mean we are drinking a cup of tea and that cup of tea is very hot. So we can feel as well as see that the smoke is rising from that liquid and the cup is hot to touch, right? So that is not just one perception that we are getting, but we are getting a series of perceptions, okay. Now also we know that anything in from which the smoke is coming out, essentially generally it is hot in nature, okay. If from cold ice also sometimes smoke comes out, but that is actually mist, that is not smoke. So whenever something smoky comes out, that means essentially that object should be hot. So we know about the history also, okay. And moreover, considering that cup of tea, okay, suppose I have this cup of tea with me, okay. So this cup of tea, smoke is coming out from it. So at one instant of time, what I am seeing smoke as well as hot to touch, okay. So these are some of the perceptions that I am getting. Also I know that smoke is almost equivalent to hot, okay. So smoke is equivalent to hot, and I also know that initially that cup was empty and was cooled or normal, but after the tea was poured into it, the cup became hot. So all of these are basically the series of perceptions which I am getting, okay, only with this particular example. Now this series of perceptions are basically termed as the percept sequence, okay, percept sequence. So we will formally define percept sequence, okay. So we will formally define percept sequence. So let me write it down. Percept sequence basically relates to the complete history of everything the agent has ever perceived, okay. So complete history of everything the agent has perceived. Now in my previous case, what did we see? We knew that the cup was cold, okay, and after the tea was poured, it became hot. So all these things, these are correlations of events, and they basically relate to the percept sequence, okay. In general, an agent's choice of action at any given instant can depend on the entire percept sequence observed to date, okay. That means that if I'm taking a decision, or if my agent is taking a decision, it should include, or it might include all the percept sequence, or it might include just one perception at any instant of time that is entirely independent to the choice of the agent, okay. Now if we can specify the agent's choice of action for every possible percept sequence, then we have said more or less everything there is to say about the agent, okay. So the percept sequence plays a critical role in identifying an agent and how it should behave for different types of percept sequences, okay. And if we consider this in a mathematics or a mathematical representation, so mathematical representation, so this is basically agent's behavior. This will represent the agent's behavior, okay, and it is actually described by the agent function, okay. So it will be the agent behavior which is described by the agent function, all right. So we have a function which directly describes the agent behavior, and it will map any percept sequence to an action, all right. So whatever the agent behaves, that is actually denoted by the agent function, and this agent function is capable of mapping the percept sequence into a action, okay. That what type of behavior will my agent show based on the percept sequence, and that complete condition is represented using the agent function in a mathematical representation. Now let us look at this from a diagram point of view, okay. So talking about how agents interact with environments through the sensors and actuators, this can be represented in a diagrammatic way, okay. A typical agent would actually look like something like this, okay. So this is my agent, all right. So this is the agent which I am talking about. So agent may be hardware or a software agent. Here the agent has sensors, and through these sensors it is capable of getting the percepts from the environment. So let me draw environment here, percepts from the environment. So if I'm considering environment, okay, so environment here, so environment, from the environment the sensors will be able to get will be able to receive the percepts, okay. And based on this percepts, it will be deciding on what type of actions it needs to do, and after that through the actuators it actually will be doing the actions back to the environment, all right. So this is, I think, very clear to us. agent has sensors, and through the sensors it will perceive the environment, and after that those perceptions are used to generate a decision, okay, into what type of action it should do, and through the actuators it will be implementing those decisions back into the environment. Okay, so this is a very typical way how you can represent an agent. Okay, so definitely in order to do something back to the environment, and the agent has to perceive some factors from the environment, and based on those perceptions and the percept sequence, the agent can act on the environment. Okay, now let us move to the next fundamental concept. Okay, so internally, any agent function for an artificial agent will be implemented by the agent program. Okay, so we saw that there is an agent. The agent will have a percept sequence, and this percept sequence will be realized into a set of actions. So this is done with the help of an agent function. All right, now this agent function would actually be implemented by a agent program. So like all functions, we have functions in our C programming language, right? So these functions cannot exist independently. It definitely has to be incorporated within a program, and that is known as agent program. Okay, the agent function is basically a mathematical concept or a mathematical description. However, the agent program is a concrete implementation, and which will be running on the agent architecture. Okay, this will actually run on the agent architecture. However, this is purely a mathematical concept, like how we can go about implementation of the particular action. Okay, so this is based on your maths. All right, so these things are the primary keywords or primary terms that you need to remember while you are actually working with intelligent agents. Okay, so now we will take a very simple example, okay, to show these different types of percept sequences and percept sequence and how things work. Okay, it is also known as the example that we will be discussing will also be known as the vacuum cleaner world problem. Sorry. So that we will be looking it into the next video. Thank you.